will want to counter-attack. Oh, there's a bit of a clash of heads there inside the centre circle. Both players were competing fiercely for the ball. Castanya's gone down. I think it might be Dzyuba as well. And it is Artem Dzyuba. No, it's not Artem Dzyuba. Sorry, it's Galler-İsviçre. Bit of a painful one to take. It looks as though Kuzyav has almost headbutted the midriff of Castagna. Going for the ball, of course, not an intentional butt. Kaku with the only goal of the game so far. And what's been a very strange and sad day for football. News of Christian Eriksen being taken to hospital after needing CPR treatment on the field of Denmark's match against Finland. Still a couple of minutes left in that game of the 90 plus however much time is needed to be added on. And there's going to be a bit of a break here while two players who collided are making sure they're okay. Well, Belgium are getting their substitution ready. And it looks as though Timothy Castagna is coming off, and he looks as though he's got a very big bruise on his eye. So an early exit perhaps for the Leicester man. Thomas Meunier is the obvious replacement to bring on. He's got an ice pack on his face now, Castagna. Doesn't look too pleasant. It looks as though his face is swollen already. He's coming off, and Kuzyav will be able to carry on. He's got a bandage on his head now, so that'll make him very recognisable for the rest of the game. Castagna off. Thomas Meunier will come on. And put through his paces by Roberto Martinez. Very adequate replacement, however, former PSG man. Kuzyav is having more bandages applied to his head. We're just going through the concussion protocol. Castagna clearly didn't pass that, but Kuzyav, I think, is going to do so. So Belgium's preparations for the game and tactics for now just being disrupted slightly, but it's not as if they're plugging gaps with players who don't know the position. It's very much a square peg in a square hole as far as Meunier is concerned. Here is Vertonghen now. Cross to Hazard. Tielemans. Now Hazard. Boyata. Alderweireld. Meunier. Can't get away from Golovin. Russia are able to clear it of sorts. Almost played themselves into a bit of trouble there with Barinov, but it's now dropped for Yuri Zhirkov, who was the backup left-back to Chelsea once upon a time when Ashley Cole was the main man at Stamford Bridge. Still going strong. 37 years old now, Yuri Zhirkov, but Russia clearly trusting him to play up against. It would have been Castagna for most of the game, but Thomas Meunier as well as Mertens, who's going to pop up on that side. Here is Hazard. Tielemans. Boyata. Alderweireld fancies the shot. He blazes it over the bar.
Don't waste
he saw that he wasn't being closed down too swiftly by the Russian side. It's a nice strike from the Tottenham centre-back. tell you, by the way, that Kuziev, well, we thought he was going to carry on. He's not. He's going to be replaced by Denis Cheryshev, a man who had a very good World Cup a few years ago. He's just never really been a regular player. He was at Valencia then. Couldn't get in the side on too regular a basis. Lukaku. Slightly errant chest control. Russia clear. It's going to drop though for Alderweireld, who'll casually sweep it back to Thibaut Courtois. And one save to make thus far from the Mario Fernandes header. Corner swung in by Golovin. Fernandes was up to meet it, and he met it firmly. Excellent positioning though from Courtois. Boyata now. Alderweireld over the halfway line and then pulls it back to Boyata. Hazard, Tielemans, Boyata, Alderweireld. Lukaku coming short, but he sold Lukaku short with the pass. Golovin now. Meunier, quick as a flash, gets the ball off him. Golovin just delayed the ball ever so slightly. Wasn't able to get it forward as quickly as he'd like. Free kick now awarded to Russia. Barinov brought down. Looking at the replay, did Dries Mertens intentionally stamp on the, how do we say, delicate area of Barinov? I think VAR might be having a look at that to determine whether it was a serious piece of serious foul play or not. Game back underway. Mertens with the throw. Surprised that the referee didn't take a closer look at that. VAR, of course, is in action. Zurich will be the new Stockley Park for the next month. Cleared by Courtois. He was forced to come a long way out of his own box. He was being closed down as well, so it only goes for a throw-in. 32 minutes gone in this contest, where it's Belgium 0, Russia 1. Tell you, by the way, that Finland have beaten Denmark, although the result of that game will pale into insignificance. But for Finland, it's certainly not insignificant, because this is their first international tournament they've ever played in.
You guys saying watching
they marked it with a win, although it's not in circumstances that they will have wanted. There was a noticeable muted celebration when Poyampolo scored that goal, just out of respect for a fellow professional whose life was in the balance on the field of play when he was receiving treatment. It looked as though the medical team have worked miracles, and Eriksson is awake, he is stable, and he did FaceTime his teammates to ask them to play out the rest of the game. Here is Hazard on the far side for Carrasco now. Tielemans, Hazard. Hazard's ball in, he's dangerous, it's spilled by the goalkeeper and slotted in by the substitute Thomas Meunier. Russia, two defensive mistakes have undone them already. It's a brilliant cross from Torgan Hazard. It was made so difficult for Anton Shunin, but he didn't help himself. He just parried it. It fell to Meunier, and he's made it Belgium 2, Russia 0. Belgium have got a second goal, and it's another defensive mistake from Russia that's cost them, this time from the goalkeeper. In fairness, it's an absolutely brilliant ball swung in from the far side by Torgan Hazard. It came over a couple of Russia heads. Maybe Anton Shunin was slightly unsighted, but he shouldn't have parried it straight to the feet of the substitute Thomas Meunier. He's come on for the injured Timothy Castagna, and he was there just to side-foot it home, left-footed, to make it Belgium 2, Russia 0. Such calmness about the way that Meunier stroked that ball into the back of the net. No rustiness from him whatsoever. Now, what can Russia do? They're trying to come forward quickly and half the deficit even quicker. Ball played forward, but they're just going to let that run Belgium into the path of the goalkeeper. This could be a long evening for Russia in St. Petersburg. Forward pass through to Lukaku. Russia making last-ditch challenges now. It comes to the goal scorer, Meunier. Meunier sends it in. It's half cleared by Samenev. Zhirkov. Zhirkov has just played the ball out now for a Belgian throw-in. Doesn't look as though there's any obvious injury at the moment for Belgium. The way that Zhirkov just played it out. I think it might be Zhirkov himself that's feeling something, as he went to clear the ball in the path of Lukaku. Looks as though he may have tweaked something slightly. This would be bad news for Russia. They won't want to make another substitution in the first half. He's limping. I think they're going to make sure he can try and continue at least, give him an opportunity to run off the injury. Forward by Shunin. Zubert heads on. He's already won a couple of those flick-ons when the ball's been played long to him. And Golovin is buzzing around, trying to stay as close as he possibly can. Another good indication of that partnership working, because the ball dropped to Golovin and he was fouled by Dendoncker, and Russia have a free kick. It's possibly a bit too far out to consider a really good shooting opportunity, but they might fancy their chances. The way they're lining up suggests that the ball's going to be clipped into the box rather than shot towards goal. It will be Golovin to take. Zubert, the key target. Golovin clips it goalwards and it's headed back across goal. And it's just wide. Belgium have been able to shepherd the ball out. It's Zubert who met the header. It was a deft little flick from the Russian skipper. And the marking was poor from Belgium. Don't want to put the kiss of death on this game, but it looks as though there could be a lot more goals than we've got already. It's 2-0 to Belgium, but both sides have looked slightly shaky defensively. It's just the fact that Belgium have been able to retain possession much more than their opponents. That's part of the reason why they're 2-0 up, and of course they're the best team in the world according to the FIFA rankings. And you don't become world number one for no reason, because they've just got a winning mentality, a winning streak about them. Roberto Martinez, once of Wigan and Everton. Sometimes at club level he got accused of not being able to sort out the soft underbelly of his sides, but did manage to win the FA Cup for Wigan, which was a massive story at the time back in 2013. Against the odds as they faced Manchester City at Wembley. No fluke either. Played well on the day. Carrasco flips it across to this near side. Meunier leaves it for Mertens. It's back with Meunier now. Alderweireld. They're on the front foot of Belgium. They're always looking to be positive. Ball finds its way to Dendoncker in midfield. It's a bit scruffy, but Belgium do retain the ball, even though they are forced to play it backwards. Alderweireld. Boyata inside the centre circle. Just over 5 minutes to go of this first half. Sent forward again. It's a bit of a mess at the back for Russia. Gone down in the box. I think it was Meunier. Referee decides not to award a penalty. That was all of their own making from Russia's point of view. Belgium try and come forward, but they're denied this time. It was a diagonal ball sent into the box. The communication was poor. Schuening came out of his goal. Defenders were in the way. He didn't get a good punch. It really saw them presented, Belgium, with another goal-scoring opportunity. It's not been a game absolutely awash with chances, but every time the ball goes in either box, I feel there could be a chance. Well, it was Zhirkov that made the challenge on Meunier. Whether or not that's just Meunier purposely tripping himself over Zhirkov. Referee is getting the potential penalty check from VAR. The check is over, no penalty. This is the referee, remember, who took charge of the Champions League final, Antonio Lahoz, and he was widely praised for how he conducted himself in that game. He allowed a lot of challenges to go through without blowing his whistle, which is always nice to see. You want to see competitive football being played. Belgium bursting forward now. It's with Lukaku on the edge of the box. Over now to Carrasco. Looks as though a change is being prepared for Russia, and this might be for Zhirkov. Bad news for him if so. 3 minutes to go until half time. Belgium 2, Russia 0 is the scoreline. Vyacheslav Karavayev was about to come on. He stood on the touchline. Not before Russia try and mount an attack. That's not a good through ball though from Barinov. Belgium don't quite keep the ball in play. And that change is coming. Zhirkov off, and Karavayev on. So that's 2 injury substitutions that Russia have made in this first half. Remember, of course, for Euro 2020, 5 substitutions are permitted, but they can only be made in 3 separate batches. So if they are to make the maximum of 5, Russia are going to have to make all 3 in the second half, although half-time substitutions don't count, so Cherchesov might have that in mind when the half-time whistle goes. He'll want the half-time whistle to go as soon as possible because Belgium are all over Russia at the moment, and Russia have given the ball away at the back. It's with Carrasco just on the edge of the D. That's a really good piece of defending. Two Russian players going in for the ball now. I think it was Semenov that got it first as Alderweireld rolls it across to his former Spurs colleague Vertonghen. Now Hazard. Russia have had a game plan. They've tried to sit back and soak up the pressure and get forward on the counter, utilise Juba with those long balls, but they've been making mistakes at the back and they've been punished as well by Belgium, who are a clinical side. Romelu Lukaku and Thomas Meunier with the goals so far. The scoreline is Belgium 2, Russia 0 into the final minute of the opening 45. Alderweireld rolls it back now to Boyata. Forward through to Tielemans. Now Dries Mertens. Alderweireld. Meunier on this near side. Lukaku just caught on his heels. Cleared out into touch by Gikir. Meunier with the throw. Defending again, not great by Russia. Tielemans was just allowed to shift it across onto his left foot. Trying to unleash the strike. Couldn't get too much power behind it. Russia clear, but again, as has been the case for a lot of this first half, the ball just drops to a man in a red shirt. Would expect a significant amount of added time to be put on the fourth official's board. It is 4 minutes. 3 players have been forced to depart after picking up injuries in this first half. Timothy Castagne and Daler Kuziev both clashing heads, both of them forced to come off. And then Zhirkov just a few moments ago looked as though he pulled up with a slight muscle injury in his leg, so he's come off as well. It's a clever attempt at a drilled through ball towards Meunier on this near side, but it doesn't reach him. Combination of Semenov and Barinov making the challenge there on Carrasco just as he was about to unleash the shot. Russia haven't been terrible in this game. They've had one really good opportunity with a Mario Fernandes header. Juba has caused a couple of problems to the Belgian defence, but defensively they've looked very slack so far. Not a good omen going forward for the rest of the tournament. They play Finland next up, and that's a game that they'll be very keen to get all 3 points in. It looks as though they're going on to lose this and then the match against Denmark to round off their group stage. Groups A and B will have completed their opening matches at this tournament. Here comes Carrasco now. Pacey burst from him. Still on the ball. Back to Hazard. Now with Tielemans. Belgium working it well in a tight area on that far side. They come away with the ball again. Carrasco, was he felled? Well, the referee has played the advantage. He's still going, Carrasco. Digs out an effort with no backlift whatsoever. And he just sends it over the crossbar. Russia didn't want to commit to making a challenge because Carrasco may have gone down. Barinov stuck a leg out, but there wasn't too much commitment there. They don't want to concede a penalty. They're in a precarious enough position as it is. A third goal for Belgium. It'll be good night Vienna, surely, for Russia. It looks bleak for them right now, with a minute and a half of the opening 45 to go.
So for the shooting, right now. This side.
Here. Now Semenov. Forward to Zuma. This is better from Russia. Can they keep it in play? They just about can. Fernandes will send the ball into the box. Needed more support though. Gone down in the box. I think it was Meunier. Referee decides not to award a penalty. That was all of their own making. Lukaku. Meunier. There is Meunier again. Now Tielemans. 10 seconds left of the 4 minutes that were added on. The fourth official as Hazard rolls it backwards now to Dendoncker. Those two just playing a bit of keep ball. The referee now does blow his whistle for half time. Well, Belgium are one of the tournament.
Right now, still at the side. Pass Hazard, right now. Nice call time. Let's play the streams to my channel. Notification to all, and our support.